Hey and welcome to another video here on cloudwords.net. We are all about protecting our data the best way possible, and we try to give you the tools and instructions you need to do the same. While this video focuses on business users and CIOs, consumers or individual business owners can also benefit from the information I'm about to show you as well. Now, for both businesses and consumers alike, it's literally impossible to keep up with all the cyber threats coming up every day. Hackers, like viruses, continuously morph, devising new ways to bypass developing security technologies and attack data centers, workstations, individual computers, and whatnot. So even when your data is protected by multi-layered security protocols, there are always people working hard to find ways to crack through even the most sophisticated security systems. As a matter of fact, they even hold hacking conferences for the most brilliant hackers. I'm not saying this to essentially discourage you from implementing system security measures. On the contrary, I think you need to persistently review your security protocols to ensure that they are up to date and fairly effective against the latest types of ransomware and other types of malware. On this channel, we've covered the dangers of ransomware and what it exactly is and what you can do about it in some other videos, which I'll link to you right here and in the description box below for your reference. Even antivirus software vendors acknowledge that ransomware has infiltrated well-protected systems, and malware distributors are increasingly sophisticated at luring end users into downloading malware through fraudulent emails and links, and even advertising on some popular websites. Over the last 1 year alone, 95% of businesses have experienced disasters that are not related to natural causes. Most of them, as you must have already guessed by now, are caused by malware, particularly ransomware. And sadly, 93% of companies that failed to restore the data within 10 days ended up filing for bankruptcy within 1 year. I've been looking at findransomware.com, which has lots of great facts, figures, and stats around this topic, and I'll leave that in the description box below for your reference. So, can you protect your data in case of a disaster? And most importantly, how can you comprehensively prepare your business to effectively handle a disaster? The first step in protecting data, of course, is mapping out your entire data center, all the workstations, everything you have, and determine the high-value assets from the rest. Customer data, for instance, would be more important compared to temporary system files. You can afford to lose the latter, but obviously not the former. And that's why you should first focus on protecting and backing up the most critical files before proceeding to the less important ones. To simplify this process, consider leveraging a comprehensive data governance software which utilizes usage intelligence to classify data and align it according to the corresponding departments. That way, you'll be able to prioritize on what to protect and what not to protect, or what's less important to protect. When it comes to backup, I like to recommend clients a hybrid solution, offering off-premise cloud backup and also on-premise backup. That way you can decide which data to keep in off-site backups and protect separately from your on-site systems, which are vulnerable to a variety of threats such as power outages, hard drive failures, floods, fires, human error, you name it. And if ransomware gains access through an administrative account, all the backed up data could be encrypted along with the rest of the drives. So the best recovery and protection procedure, therefore, would be the cloud, so you can recover the unencrypted files whenever you want. Personally, I've integrated Carbonite into my overall data backup and protection strategy, and I tend to recommend it to my clients as well. To protect myself, I've scheduled the backups to automatically core after 24 hours. You can also have it like constantly running in the background. In case of a disaster, Carbonite provides a recovery management tool that would help me restore all my files from the most critical to the less important ones on a drive of my choice, and even drill down to individual versions of each file. With the business environment progressively changing, endpoint devices have become an integral part of the IT infrastructure in most companies today. There's also the growing trend of bring your own device, where employees have 2 or even 3 different devices that they use for both personal and business applications. Now, unfortunately, through a 2014 State of the Endpoint study, 65% of the IT professionals surveyed had been victims of advanced persistent threats via their endpoint devices that year. And according to 71% of them, that, among other reasons, has made endpoint security threats more difficult to mitigate. And therefore, even when you employ watertight measures to safeguard your system against vulnerabilities emanating from the internet, there are potentially greater risks from endpoint devices. To make matters worse, 66% of third-party applications are regarded as threats to endpoint security. In addition to implementing endpoint security measures, therefore, you should adequately control and manage account privileges. The main admin account should have minimal, if any, connection to an endpoint device like a smartphone or a mobile phone or other mobile devices. That way, any malware that attempts to penetrate the system could be contained within the entry user account without affecting the rest of the system. Another strategy, especially when disaster strikes, would be disaster-proofing primary files by encrypting them before they are attacked or before they're even sent to the cloud. Of course, the most important ones should be given priority as you try to contain an attack before it spreads to operation-critical data. And by minimizing exposure, you'll also be protecting other files from unauthorized access. It's pretty much like closing off all your valuables in a single safe room when you notice an intruder in your home. For all these measures to be perfectly aligned, you should have a disaster recovery plan that includes critical protection strategies and software, which includes off-premise backup, which includes restoration procedures, and subsequent recovery processes that you need to test before disaster strikes. Make sure to check out our other videos about disaster recovery, data backup, cloud backup, so you can protect your business now before you actually wish you had. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss a video. And I really hope to see you in my next video round. Bye-bye.